is remarkable that we have gone an entire 8 years, almost a decade, without a new Mario and Luigi game. It has been an absolute travesty that the fans did not rally when Alpha Dream was having problems, that we did not like demand this company be supported or that this IP to continue. Everybody just kind of shrugged and was just like, serves them right for screwing over Paper Mario. It was completely disgusting, right? For those of us who love Mario and Luigi, who love like these games, who have a lot of respect for like Alpha Dream and what they did, like this was a travesty. Like I loved Dream Team, I loved Paper Jam, and the fact that we're not getting anything new from these games is incredibly disappointing. Like I think they could have made several more great games in the series, right? Just like Intelligent Systems is doing now with Paper Mario, but unfortunately, it's not to be. And unfortunately, people aren't really talking about this series and the legacy it did leave because Mario and Luigi is, in my opinion, the best Mario RPG franchise ever. Right, bar none. Like Paper Mario has had its ups and downs. Super Paper Mario isn't great. Origami King has the weird bosses, and Sticker Star has like the infamous like lack of real story structure. But Mario and Luigi stayed pretty consistently good throughout its entire run, right? It never really lost its identity. Partners in Time isn't great, but at its core, the series like knew what it wanted to be, delivered on it, gave us great sprite artwork, throughout up until Dream Team. We were getting these gorgeous like Super Nintendo like era sprite work, style until like Dream Team in 2013, right? Like it was really cool seeing this kind of art style still being utilized in on newer hardware, right? It was crazy seeing them put out these games and seeing what they did with them and how much content and how much like cool stuff they could do. Like it was incredible, right? Seeing Mario and Luigi like evolve over the years. I would say that like by the time Dream Team came out, it kind of established itself as probably one of the hardest Mario games out there because those boss fights were brutal. People completely forget how difficult Dream Team could be at times and how long it was, right? Like Dream Team was just such a huge step above what we were expecting for the series at this point. It was a complete travesty, and it really does feel as if like the only time people ever gave this series any real respect was that initial run in Game Boy Advance. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Like I just got done this weekend playing through my latest playthrough of this game, right? It's not too long. It's about 11, 12 hours long. It's on NSO, and it might be the very best game available on the service right now, or like available on the Game Boy Advance service right now. It is an incredibly compelling JRPG with an incredibly unique combat system where you can dodge and like hammer your way to avoid enemy attacks. You have the cool, iconic Bros moves. The best the series has ever seen, in my opinion. It has like lots of really cool boss fights, lots of really cool funny moments. Really cool, memorable characters. It is just all around probably one of the best entry level RPGs there is. I would say the original Paper Mario is probably better because it's slower paced and probably better for like people who have never played this kind of thing before. But like Mario and Luigi from a technical standpoint is a marvel because the combat is so innovative and it feels so much more like a Mario game than the turn based crap we got with Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG. It really not only gave the series its own identity, it pushed the boundaries of what a turn-based combat system could be. It it really is, I think, the best turn-based combat system ever made because of how it balances how it balances like your skill at the game and like uh your your knowledge of like the game's mechanics, right? Like it does a really good job of feeling like an intense anime action sequence when you're going up against these crazy bosses and like dodging all their crazy attacks and like just seeing what happens all the way through the end. And Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I think, kind of has one glaring crippling flaw that like I just can't get past. That it is way too easy. But like, if you've never played the game before, you probably won't notice or care all that much at all, right? This is like probably one of my most replayed RPGs ever for a good reason because it is an incredibly good time from start to finish. And I am like very anxious for games like Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, and Dream Team to make the jump to Switch, or at least like the next Nintendo console, or like some console in the future, because those games, in particular, I think Dream Team, are super overlooked. They're not games that people talk about at all anymore, and it's one of those things that just kind of make me like wonder why. Like where did we go wrong? How exactly did we go from like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, one of the most critically acclaimed games on the Game Boy Advance, to like the game slowly kind of becoming forgotten with each new release? Like I explicitly remember Emily Rogers, the fraudster herself, like coming out and saying she was bored of Mario and Luigi when Paper Jam released. And like it's just such a laughable complaint. Like, oh man, how dare they make sequels to a game that people like? Like it was embarrassing. I was never really a fan of the argument, even like going into like Paper Jam and seeing like the weird Paper Mario like conspiracies about this franchise. Like this series deserved better.